Hey, it
Hey,
looks like we're here.
we made it.
Hello, everybody. It's American Horror Stream. And we're late because I had to pee. Ha ha.
Gotta love Acadia's honesty.
That's right.
Keep on his toes.
I was very busy doing show prep and I forgot to pee. But now everything is fine. Jesus, that wasn't very fine. But now everything is fine. Hi, Mel's. Hi, Mel's, with your super backdrop that fills the whole screen.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Acadia. And I finally fixed my bootleg background just for you. So I hope you are enjoying it.
Yes, I am. I was tired of seeing the your murder victims behind you. Now I don't feel like I am an accomplice in any way. So yes, that's good. Good stuff.
Excellent.
Well, you know what was even better stuff?
What?
The Madison Montgomery Show, which is now what American Horror Story is called.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I like to call it the Madison and Behold Show, actually.
Yeah, well, I would have called it that, except that I could not remember what the fuck his name was. I just knew that it was a simple 2-syllable thing. And I was like, oh yeah, Montgomery and bread box and broomstick. I couldn't remember it for the life of me. Then I looked it up and it was Chablis. I'm like, that, I know it's not that.
Listen, Behold Chablis, and you better recognize and remember that name. It's going to be
now I'll remember Chablis. I wouldn't remember the other one. By the way, everybody in the chat, hi. I know that you kind of started without us, like you were drinking pregame style in the chat, but
yeah. They were tailgating.
Cheap date. That's what I say. You get really nice and hammered, then you only have to buy one in the bar. So now I guess you can tell me what your overall thoughts on the episode were, but we got to go way high level first, like super high. Where is it in relation to the other episodes this season?
Okay, 5 cube mellows, if we even want to do that anymore. I mean, this is a 5 out of 5 out of 5. Anything in this world, 5 skull heads, 5 skeletons, you know, just 5 ghosts, whatever you want to call it. This was the best American Horror Story episode that I have ever seen. And that says a lot. That says a lot because I have a lot of favorite episodes from Murder House, Coven, Hotel. I'm currently rewatching and catching up on Roanoke, but I have a lot of favorite things from Roanoke as well. So it is shaping up to probably be my favorite season, and that's saying a lot. Now we have 4 episodes left, so I don't know where they're going to go from here. I mean, I hope they can only go up, but you know, we've seen it go the opposite way before.
Yeah.
But definitely my favorite episode of all time. I don't know if they're like how they're even going to top this. And in reality, it's my favorite episode because we went back to the beginning and we went back to the place where we all fell in love with American Horror Story. So
you can also describe it as that time it was good.
Aww.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it's kind of a bit of a rocky road. By the way, the chat, let's see. Oh, Chablis might be a nod to Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Thank you. Who said that?
That was Dame Meow.
Dame Meow. I want to bow down because y'all might not know, maybe y'all do know, you might be able to tell from my accent. I am from Georgia. Grew up mid to South Georgia, and spent a lot of my childhood in Savannah, Georgia. So the Lady Chablis is one of the icons that I've always loved my entire life. I've seen the show a few times with my sister, and I have to say that if this was a nod towards the Lady Chablis, Ryan Murphy, you're killing it. Okay.
Wow.
So all of us Southerners, all of us, Savannanites, the ones that love it and know all about Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, we want to thank you, sir. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I got passionate on that because,
that's nuts.
Was pulling on some hometown strings there almost. So.
Yes. Jeez Louise. Who knew?
Who knew, right?
Yep. Well, also, so Jackie said, Jackie called him breadcrumb. So now that's my favorite one so far. Then Cemetery Doll said that it was everything she wanted, and it gets all the cubes. Yeah, so basically everybody, and Damien told you to spill the tea. So hopefully you know what that means because I have no idea.
I do.
Tonight on Women Talking.
Thank you, darling.
Oh my God, Cemetery Doll just said she's supposed to be at Eastern State Penitentiary spooking it up right now. Holy macaroni. Cemetery, get with me after the show because if you do go there, I need you to be a correspondent because that place is bananas.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
So then, as far as the show is concerned, obviously Cordelia needed to send the A-team to the murder house because that was a big deal. So they sent Montgomery and Breadbox, and everything they did, they fucking nailed. The comedy they nailed. The timing they nailed. Like every piece of it, I think that those two characters together could have been like I think that would be a very watchable spinoff.
I would love it. Even if we got maybe a couple of fluff episodes, which again, we only have 4 left, but I've got a theory or I've got a thought in my head about what exactly is going on with Apocalypse and what we might see in the future with it. So even if we had some fluff episodes where it was just Behold and Madison, I would watch the shit out of that. And so I'm telling you right now, I'm the first to sign the petition of get them a limited series where they just go and just, blow
like
everybody.
Ghost mind. Whisperer, but funny.
Yes, exactly. The whole scene, honestly, where they were summoning the ghosts to become visible for them, because the ghosts in Murder House, they can choose when they want to be seen and not. Right. I thought it was hilarious because after the candles blew out, they looked at each other and they were like, well, did it work? And of course, Behold looks to the left and there's one of the nurses and he's like, we're in, Yep. So it was comedic. It was great acting and they're just a dynamic duo. And for me, I think that they made, outside of obviously us wanting to know everything with Murder House and what's been going on and having some type of wrap up to season 1, outside of that, they made the show that
him saying that I had to wear khakis, so we've all had, a trying day. The tearjerker joke that actually I'm gonna say that your name is Shay Chanel.
Ooh.
So many questions answered. So glad they addressed Michael's aging. And Damn Fine TV wants the Breadcrumb and Emma Roberts spinoff. And Damien said it was worth it for the tearjerker joke alone, which, by the way, definitely was. And Dylan McDermott, I got to give super props to because he played it as jaded ghost that's kind of sick of having to do this all the goddamn time, but sort of having a sense of humor about it. Kind of perfect. He was everything I wanted in a jaded ghost and didn't know I needed.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I just thought it was hilarious because, once Madison and Behold make themselves known and they bust up on what I can only imagine is like the most redundant therapy sessions in the entire afterlife. Because it can't be in the world. This is in the afterlife for this house, right?
Right.
And, they bust in and he's like, well, if you'll excuse me, I got to go, cry and masturbate out the window. It's my thing. It's my dailies. And he's just so like, I'm sick of this and I don't want to do it anymore. And this is what hell is like for the ghosts in Murder House. So.
Yep. And, oh my God, Shay Chanel is the ghost. It's the ghost.
The ghost.
Yeah, so she must have felt bad for not sending any emails, and it must have been close enough to Halloween that she can roam outside of her realm.
Or she's at her most comfortable point. She was at the murder house.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she was happy.
She was amongst her people.
Yep. And
thank you for coming.
Yeah, the good point in the chat. Cemetery Doll was like, she was mad about just because they got the tearjerker bit, but didn't get to see young Myra.
No, a lot of people are upset about that.
But I know why.
Well, okay, so you tell me why we didn't get young.
I'll tell you exactly why, and it's a shitty reason, but it was impossible to do within the confines of the show. Anybody that watched season 1 knows that it was Alexandra Wentworth, right, that played young Moira.
Alexandria Beckinsale or Beckenridge.
Yeah, whatever it was.
It was on The Walking Dead as well.
Yeah, right. If you saw her on The Walking Dead, you saw she was no longer Moira. And I doubt like hell that they were going to say, hey, you're supposed to be a ghost that looks like exactly like you fucking looked in this show 8 years ago. So do you want to like starve yourself for 6 months and do nothing but work out so that you can be on a show for a little bit? Because her whole thing was to be like super fucking slinky and blah, blah, blah and everything like that. And she just looked like a normal person in The Walking Dead. And there's no fucking way.
Well, she's a normal person. And number 2, I have to tell you that, Murder House was not her only appearance on American Horror Story. You know that, right?
Who was she? Pepper's aunt?
No, she was not. She was in Coven, and she was the beautiful redheaded woman that Cordelia's husband was having an affair with, who he ended up shooting in the head. And that's how we come to find out that he was a witch hunter, is because he was finding these girls that were coming into, Robichaux's, and Cordelia was interviewing them, etc. And he was getting the information on them and then finding them on their dating websites.
And then there was a haunted crane, and then...
Okay, Acadia, I'm just letting you know that she's been on American Horror Story more than once.
Right, that's fine.
And so she was normal in Coven. So...
Right. No. Right, I'm with you 100%. I'm not saying that they didn't cast her in the show because she doesn't look like she did when she was Moira, except that's exactly what I'm saying, because she's supposed to be a ghost, which means she's supposed to look exactly like she did when she was Moira. That's why they couldn't do it.
Well, this is my theory on it, and just hear me out. I thought that she couldn't be seen anymore because who was the person that was seeing her as young Moira? And that was Ben.
The ghost who said that it was Ben, right?
And once Ben started to see the house for what it was, he stopped seeing Myra as young Myra when she passed away, and he started seeing real life Myra.
What you mean is hot Myra.
Okay.
Francis Conroy.
Right. He started seeing the
Ben
hot
and any
Myra.
man who was open to being seduced. See, that's how I would have fucking tricked the ghosts. Because they would have been like, oh, no, I don't want anything to do with you, young Myra. And then they would have shown me old Myra, and I would have been, Pazam! I'm going to get old ghost.
So that was my thought, at least, is that Behold is not going to have any interest in seeing her like that because he is not interested in, women like that, or he's not trying to be possessed by the house. And the same goes for Madison, which none of the women saw Myra as young Myra anyway. They all saw her as the older, hot Myra. Francis Conroy.
I'm glad we got hot Myra.
So
Young Myra can go off and go whatever, go to like the fucking prom or whatever. So we got the good Myra, and she drooled on Emma Roberts. So really, I can die now.
You're a fool.
No, Emma Roberts. No, wait, no, she drooled on Emma Roberts, right? Yeah, that's the way it went. I was woozy, so I couldn't pay attention.
I don't think she drooled on her. I think that she was so emotional that maybe she had a tear. Maybe she teared on her. I do not think that Myra was drooling on Emma Roberts, but I'm going to let you have your fantasy, okay?
That's right. Just, why are you going to take everything away from me?
So I will say that in an instant reaction or an instant type of,
Wait, I got to stop. Wait.
Oh, Lord.
The cemetery in the chat just said, both Myras are hot in their own way, but I'd pay young Myra to punch me in the damn face.
Okay, well,
hey, you know what? Hang out a little bit, because if things don't go well for her acting-wise, she'll end up at a con, and she'll probably let you do it.
She did some Walker Stalker cons.
Yeah, see?
She might still be doing them, even though her character is not around anymore, because that's what they tend to do.
Yeah, Walker Stalker doesn't care.
Yeah,
they still have fucking T-Dog.
Yeah, R.I.P. T-Dog.
I know, right?
Gosh, he was the bread and butter of that beginning season.
He made the prison.
So, the first one to really be selfless, but this isn't a Walking Dead show. Let's save that.
Yeah, we'll rein it back in, I suppose. I guess my point with the whole Myra thing, and I know I'm saying it wrong. Whatever, it's just a Patty name. What do I care? It's like my old grandmother telling me I'm saying Siobhan wrong when it's spelled Siobahn. That doesn't say Siobhan in any goddamn language except Irish. Anyways, they were sent there on a reconnaissance mission by what's her face. Cordelia. Well, it was another C word. I was going to say Constance, but I knew it wasn't Constance. So Cordelia.
Brush you up after this show. Listen,
I need
everybody that's listening right now. I will do my due diligence as being the better host here. Just putting it out there, and I will try to make sure that Acadia has an encyclopedia of all of the correct names for the characters that we are currently dealing with on American Horror Story.
I need a flashcard. That's what it is. Anyway, the point was, Cordelia was like, all right, well, you got to go to the murder house because that's where Michael all started from. Dun, dun, dun. Mm-hmm. They go, and they start interrogating the witnesses. So it was pretty great because they got to do essentially a bottle episode in the middle of the show, drag out every woo thing that you could have thought of from season 1 and advance the plot enough to sort of make it count, if that makes any sense.
For sure.
Because I think that if there was a flaw in the engineering of the whole thing, we've known that he's been the Antichrist for 7 years. So watching the other characters have to fucking figure it out is a little frustrating. I got to be honest.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean? Like the fact that he tricked all the dumb guy witches and whatever like that to start with and everything like that, and that's it's taken us a while to get to the end of this episode where you could make a case for saying, well, Jesus, if they had just said right from the fucking jump, like if you think back to the beginning of the season,
mm-hmm.
why did they fucking fart around in the bunker for 3 episodes before they busted out and did the fucking apple thing? At the very least, they could have done it in 2.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a lot of thoughts on when we finally get back to the quote unquote present day timeline of Apocalypse. I have a lot of thoughts in my mind as to what's going to happen now. And I think it took these flashback episodes for us to really understand. I mean, yes, from the get-go, we knew that Michael was the Antichrist. I mean, we already knew that he was Michael Langdon, and we already knew that Michael Langdon was born of spirit and human. And, you know, and I have to take a moment here to apologize because I have been really putting down Tate Langdon. Okay.
He's a monster.
He's not a monster. He's not a monster.
We're going to talk about it.
Okay. He's not a monster. They cleared it up. Yes, he's a monster for what he did in his mortal life, no doubt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. But I had been fishing this theory that he was something more sinister than we thought he was in order for him to have birthed off the Antichrist. And what we learned in this episode was he actually was just being used as a vessel for the evil that's in that house, which you and I have talked about this, leads me to believe that that is another Hellmouth, in addition to Hotel Cortez. But, and they're not far from each other. So what's up, LA?
Yeah, right? So then I got to say that realistically, Tate, I believe out of all the characters we've seen through this whole show and everything like that, I genuinely feel like Tate is irredeemable. Like, I don't care that his ghost learns to love or any bullshit like that or anything like that. I think that, and I know that there were some people talking about it online, whatever like that. The fact is that think back through all the characters. If you've got any type of murder show or any type of violent show that's going to, especially like American Horror Story,
Sure.
if the characters are killing each other and the killing is part of the plot, then you can sort of say, okay, well, this had to happen, blah, 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 everything like that. So like in Hotel is a perfect example. Everybody anybody that went into Hotel and got killed, it was to accentuate the fact that there was a vampire and there was a ghost and there was another ghost and all, you know, and all this shit. Tate's crime, I'm not even talking about the rape. Forget the rape, because you could say that the rape was a vehicle for the show.
It was a vehicle. Yes. Yeah. I know what you're fixing to say. His real life crimes.
Killing, like the mass shooter part, there was no need of it. And there should have been a penalty.
I agree. And I guess that's what I mean when I say for Tate, he was messed up. And I want to say that it was a product of Constance, and whether she wants to admit it or not. And then she has said that she made some mistakes with raising him. Sure. But I think that he is a product of Constance because she essentially tricked Dennis O'Hare, and forgive me, I cannot remember his character's name from Murder House. However, she tricked him into bringing her back into the home that she wanted to be in. But when the shit was about to hit the fan with Beauregard, Child Protective Services, which was going to end her up in jail because she had him chained up in an attic, child abuse, child endangerment, and her half fire face fella went and killed him. Tate knowing these things, because it was not long after that was the trigger for him. I'm not saying that it was a justifiable thing. I think what he did is horrendous, and I don't condone it, and I think it's disgusting. He did get his due in the end. He was killed. And he didn't I know, and he did not have remorse when he was shot and killed. And I think that once he came to terms with what he had done, I'm a Tate apologist, and I don't care what you say. I'm always going to be.
That's what I was waiting for.
Listen, he's the love of my life. It's the love of my afterlife. I'm going to put it that way. And I honestly think, though, it took Violet coming in and him realizing that there was something that he could start being happy about, even though he was deceased, which is a weird thing. The whole thing was weird anyway, but not to ramble on. The point of it is he loved her. He wanted her to love him back. When she found out all of the nasty shit he had done, and she said, I never want to speak to you again. And we saw the scene in this week's episode where she's just ignoring him in the house. He's like yelling for her and just pining after her. And she's not giving him, even a look in his general direction. I think that it took all of that because he said a few things in his therapy session with Ben this time around that made me really think. He said, I get it. I'm dead now. I know what I did. And I'm different. And even though Ben's like, you're not different because you raped your mother, you killed these people in the house, you did all of these terrible things, etc. You're not a changed ghost. I don't want to say person, but I truly, honestly felt like he was being honest with that, and he was being truthful with that. And in the end, I believe that's why he was given the chance that he was given, all thanks to your scrawny goddess, Madison, which she got so many redeeming points for me on that. But just to finish up the Tate thing, he did something selfless, by saving Vivian, which we'll get into that later. And I think that is the part where you start to think, okay, what you did in your human life was monstrous, but you've actually learned your lesson being trapped in this house and finding true love.
All right. This is worse than the kid nonsense that I had to battle Hannah over for a whole goddamn season. All right.
I'm not going to hear you bash Tate, so you can...
I made my character list so that I don't get confused anymore.
Thank you.
Here are the characters. Madison, Beanbag, Hitler Jr., Tate, Lady Gaga's ghost, who I assume is in it, No Eyes Janet, the little kid from the end, Jessica Langdon. Never thought of that, huh?
Look at you! Oh, I like it.
My favorite character, Werewolf Dave. He hasn't been in it a lot, but you just wait. He's a winner. Werewolf Dave.
Who's Werewolf Dave?
You'll find out. I have inside tracks on what's happening. So,
right.
And then Werewolf Dave. So,
okay.
Now,
I mean, I'm going to believe you, but I can't believe that we're supposed to be partners and you haven't even given me any of this information. So,
I literally made it up while you were yapping about Hitler
Boo, you whore. You made it all up. So,
yes.
Anyway, yeah.
My last point on that, I know, yes, you love Tate, blah, blah, blah. Madison didn't do anything compared to what he did, and she had to work at fucking Hell Target for like 1,000 years in Hell Target time, and all he does is run around the house that he ran around to start with. He didn't even have any punishment. Oh, the girl I like doesn't like me. Well, welcome to the rest of the fucking world, Hitler Jr.
Okay, do you know what his punishment is? His punishment is that he is stuck in that house, and he was possessed by that house, and I don't care what you say. That house possessed him. He did a lot of terrible shit. And yeah, he found someone that he fell in love with. He tried to save her. Unfortunately, she became another casualty of the home. And his hell is living in that house every day with the person that you love who doesn't even want to look at you. So Madison,
that's the same as having a cat.
No, it's not. Madison's superficial hell of folding towels at Bed Bath & Beyond is all fine and dandy, but everyone's hell is different. I'm just going to leave it at that. Everyone's hell is different, okay?
Said, there's no way that you came from my nutsack, though. I was very happy about that line.
Well,
you don't get to say nutsack in TV very often.
They're really getting it with they're up in the ante on the writing to me this season, and I love it. But
I think at the beginning of the writer's room, they were like, I will give $500 to somebody that can work nutsack in and make it sound organic.
Very organic. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Damn right.
To go back to what we're looking at here, you know, the whole reason we're at Murder House, the whole reason we're returning is we need to find out what happened to Michael. We need to know all the 411 on him. Now, we get the iconic, I died when our goddess came. Top of the stairs. She descended from with a halo around her head, in my opinion. And
yeah, but now wait a minute.
Stop it. And Madison was like, you know, we're the new owners. Who the hell are you? And she's like, I'm Constance Langdon, and this is my fucking house. I died. I'm dead.
Yes, but
I died.
In the interest of full disclosure to everybody in the chat and everybody watching and everybody that's going to listen to it later, what did you text me? What did you text me when you saw your goddess at the top of the stairs?
Well, Acadia, I was worried for her health. I asked you if she'd had a stroke.
That's right, because you thought her face was all stroked out.
No, I said the right side of her face looked like it was lopsided. I soon realized after several more watches of the episode, I can't believe you put me on blast like this. And you have ruined any opportunity I ever had in my life to meet her and her.
Why? How?
Because now she's going to say, oh, you're the one that said I had a stroke when
No, you know why? You know why that's 100% not true, that I didn't ruin anything, and I know for a fact, because Ryan Murphy was tweeting about it, and he said, oh, we're going to get you trending. And she was like, oh, that's wonderful, blah, 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 and everything like that. And then a little while later, she went, what's trending? She doesn't know from internet. She's at the 107, so you're fine.
Well, you know what, Acadia? What you might not know is that I'm part of her fan club, and that I write her weekly letters, and so now she's going to be like, "Here's your letter back, bitch."
But it'll just be a big scribble.
Yeah. So just don't write me anymore, okay? Yes, I did ask that because I was genuinely concerned for her health. Okay.
No, but she killed it. She climbed up on the chair too. She was doing everything.
Her dance. Oh my gosh, the dance when she was ready to kill. When she went over and took her own life. That to me, that was more reminiscent of Fiona from Coven, because that was her MO, is that she was super like, you know, especially with the Axeman and the Jazz and all that, you know, but because I don't believe I ever saw Constance over there boogieing down in season 1. But I'm going to tell you.
No, because she was too weak.
That was an epic, just, she slayed. Jessica Lange slayed this episode. I don't think she's going to be back for any more, which is very sad, but we got what we've been waiting for. She hasn't been back since season 4, so it's been 4 years of us just begging for her to come back, and she couldn't have done it in a more iconic way. Yes, Acadia.
I will trade 7 Jessica Langes for 1 Emma Roberts.
Okay, from now on, I want everybody that's viewing right now to listen to me very carefully. He's going to start getting a restriction on how many times he mentions Emma Roberts.
Why?
Because this has been 375,000 times you've mentioned her since we started.
She was the star of the episode, and they're starting her redemption arc. Because remember, not only was she nice, but she also said, oh, we have to bring this information to Cordelia. She'll know what to do. Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Like, whereas before she was like, Cordelia can go suck a butt. I already know everything. I should be the supreme.
Well, I'll tell you, and she did say that one other thing to Behold when they first got to the murder house, and he was like, are you sure you don't want to go clubbing? You know, and that's when she had her whole, trust me, I would be on the phone with my Coke dealer in a minute. But she said her line after that, though, she was like, I've been brought back 3 times now, you know, 2 times from Coven, and now, you know, Michael bought her back, which Behold was very, very quick to remind her how she got this 3rd chance. But she said, I'm not messing it up. And so she's learned. She's redeemed in my eyes. She's moved up my favorite characters list. I will tell you that. And I'm hoping that she plays a huge part in the takedown of Michael Langdon, because obviously she comes back in the present timeline with Cordelia and Myrtle. So there's a reason for that. You know, I don't know what's going to happen to Zoe and Queenie, why they didn't come back, you know, after the apocalypse happened. But yeah, there's a reason that Madison was sent to the murder house. I believe it's because she is
the top fucking agent. That's why.
She is Cordelia, just missing one of the 7 wonders. But her powers rival her, and we all know that. And I think that Cordelia might have known that she was ready for her redemption and to prove herself. You know, to not just be this snotty bitch, right? So,
and nothing scares her either.
Well, I don't know. She seemed like she was. There were a few times in the house that she seemed like she was spooked.
Yeah. Well,
but no, she's got brass balls. I mean, that's just the end of it. She's got brass balls. So
the ghost pointed out in the chat, revealing deep information about me that. She wrote, fun fact, Acadia does not like Julia Roberts, and it's confusing. And it's very true. I do not like Julia Roberts. I do not like her giant mouth that looks like a garage full of refrigerators. Emma Roberts is the, like, upgraded, better, 2nd generation Roberts version. As a matter of fact, as far as Roberts that I find attractive, it goes Emma, then probably Eric, and then Julia. So take that. Okay.
Well, I'm extremely disappointed in you because Emma Roberts also has a mouth that could house about 375 boats as well. So let me just tell you right now, she's got a mouth like her aunt. Okay. No, really? You should look at a side by side of them. They have the exact same lip shape and everything. I'm not fixing to get on Julia Roberts. She's from my home state. So don't mess with Georgia. Okay.
Fine. All right. So now
So yeah,
whatever. You can't steal my dreams from me. At any rate,
okay, I'll be nicer.
Here's the piece of it. Yeah. Here's the piece of it that I 100% don't super get.
Okay.
I liked how they closed the loop on the three kings showing up for baby Jesus, except it was the three Satanists showing up for Michael. And I don't know if they were trying to pretend that the guy was Anton LaVey, but I saw someone pointing it out rightly on Twitter. It was actually Max from the Relic podcast. He's like, yeah, no, Anton LaVey was not that kind of Satanist. He wasn't the murdery kind of Satanist. No. He was like the cash in and get a lot of money kind.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because Twitter, like and I don't want to misquote, so it's ignorance on my part, so please forgive me, but the Church of Satan, is that what they call themselves? But they were really not fans of how they were portrayed in this episode.
Super mad. Yeah,
because they're not sacrificial. That's not their shtick. They're very self-empowering. That's what they put off, right? So yeah, I saw a lot of the not very happy, response from the Church of Satan. So
yep. But as far as I'm concerned, that's just another religion bitching about shit so they can stuff it up their butts just like all the other religions.
Well, and I think there was obviously there was a reason why they went the route that they did, because they needed to pull out the 7-horned winged beast, that
was pretty dope.
Yeah, that Vivian was talking about. They had to pull it out, and the way that they pulled it out was by having a sacrifice and Michael eating the heart of that poor innocent girl, which was terrible.
Yeah.
But now let's talk a little bit about Michael, okay? Because I like what you said earlier. They did an excellent job of tying up our murder house, where are they now type episode. But such an amazing job of moving along who Michael really is, because, the information from Constance, where he aged the decade, and that's what really pushed her over the edge, because bless his heart, he's in there playing the PlayStation with the dead priest next to him, and he's just kind of like, I don't know what are you talking about? What happened? Choking out grandma over a glass of water, which I found hilarious because she said, "May I, Michael?" I mean,
yeah, right.
I think that you probably weren't earning points with him when you kept correcting his grammar. But to see this side of him where he was so tender-hearted and he had the good in him, and it was a struggle for him up until Miriam and the rest of the, Satanists, I guess I'm going to call them, showed up and really showed him who he was. But the redeeming qualities of him was how he loved his grandma. When he found her dead in the house, he was so upset when Ben told him that she didn't want to see him. And then the whole relationship that he started to form with Ben, with Ben telling him, "You're not my son, but I can't help but think of you that way because this is what happened, X amount of years ago at that point." And it was a little sad, though. It's like he loved. He knows he's capable of being loved. He's capable of showing love and accepting it. And yet it took that one thing and the taste of blood, I suppose is what it is, for that part of him to make itself known. And I think it's sad. Now I'm going to be a Michael apologist. I know.
When are you going to...
I'm sorry.
This bad boy stuff.
It's not a bad boy thing. It's just like when he was in Tate's room, because Ben, you know, and Ben told him, and he knew that Tate was his quote unquote dad. And he was in there admiring the rubber suit, which now all makes a whole lot more sense, right? From Outpost. But it just the way that Tate responded to him, which made me really not like Tate. I was like, whoa, you are.
That was when he said the nutsack thing.
Yeah. And I was like, you're on my poo-poo list because you don't talk to poor Michael like that. But then that was his spiral down out of like, well, okay, so this is like the second person that's kind of shit on me a little bit because of who I am when I had no choice in being who I am. You know, and what did I tell you, Acadia? Oh my gosh. I remember this, and it's on our, you know, stream when I said, I know that they're not going to bring back those fluff characters from American Horror, from a Murder House, like Black Dahlia. Damn if she did not show back up.
And I was really like, was Mina Suvari too.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was her. And I was like, are y'all listening to me where I specifically said to you, don't bring these fluff characters back?
I know, right?
But it was important because that was her story, and that was his way of getting back into, you know, the rose bushes didn't have to be planted anymore. He could just hop down to the basement and cut up all these ghosts like nobody's business. So,
well, we got to catch up on the chat too. Oh,
sorry,
I think I'm going on your side, Mel's. Am I echoing everybody?
I don't hear an echo.
Yeah, it's coming back through your thing. All right. Shay said, so we all thought Mead was based on Constance, but that's not the case anymore, right?
Right. Well, right. She's her own, you know, I mean, I don't know if her name was Miriam, but she's her own person and fucking has the murder mobile, you know, the little Prius murder mobile. And, and
Cemetery.
I don't know if anyone caught this, and then we'll catch up in the chat, I promise y'all. But the other woman, which I don't ever recall her name being mentioned in the trio, everyone, that was Pepper.
Yep.
From Asylum and Freak Show.
That's really great that you just said that, because it fits right in with the chat, because we had I live for the heart. Cemetery said I live for the heart eating bit, and Constance calling Michael her little angel of light made her laugh so hard. Damn Fine TV thinks Michael's been bullshitting his nice side since birth. Damielle said she thought it was very poignant when she said that her role in life was to raise the monsters. Jackie Torrance said, wasn't the actress that was Pepper a member of the Satan Club? So score. And then, so everything is like, well, he's the Antichrist and a sociopath. He can fake the whole softer side. And then Damielle said, what about those poor animals, Mel's?
Okay, maybe I should just retreat.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should retreat down to my basement and never come back out.
Maybe you should just pick which horrible monster you want to have for a boyfriend. You can pick the kid from Castle Rock, or Tate, or Michael, and I guess maybe we can throw in, I don't know, the Trapper from Dead by Daylight, or one of the other killers in the game.
Okay, none of the killers are attractive to me, and you don't have to worry about that. That's number one. Number two, I will do one comment on Castle Rock, and I will not bring Castle Rock back up, because this would be a 70-hour show if I went into my Castle Rock spiel.
Somewhere Hannah's going, what? Castle Rock? What?
Yeah. I did not share the sentiment of many young women, or, you know, many women around the Castle Rock world. I did not find the kid attractive. I was a sympathist for him in the beginning because I thought that he was not what we all were picturing him to be, or you know, knowing it was going in that direction. But Bill Skarsgård does not do it for me, I'm sorry. It's his brother that does it for me. So
the one from True Blood and Tarzan?
Yes. Alexander is my Skarsgård. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure, because one of his arm muscles is as big as his entire brother.
Well, exactly. And that's why I'm like, you're just too scrawny. I need you to eat a cheeseburger and then come talk to me. I mean, hello.
You eat the cheeseburgers and keep them away from scrawny Emma. Anyways, so now I wanna dig into, because we're almost at an
right at time.
Amazing hour of television show. Is that what we are? Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a television show because you could watch it on your television technically.
We're television stars, and and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And you can tell me nothing else. And are you screwing your back with a hanger?
No, I'm just swinging it around apparently because I don't have my pointer that I was pointing at my character list with. I have a Swiffer. Anyway, I'll use this paintbrush instead. Why? Other than us knowing that Miriam was there from the jump, and knowing that like Moira had a happy ending with her mother, and the existence of No Eyes Janet.
We have to talk about that before our hours.
I know, but overall, what did we come out of this episode knowing about the plot, not the characters? Because Emma Roberts' character grew. You could make a case for the fact that, you know, Tate saved Connie Britton, so that character grew, whatever. You know, a bunch of characters evolved and resolved in, well, we'll just say resolved. Some of them in ways that viewers liked. There was some controversy, but there was a lot of storylines put to bed, including the line about, you know, Ben saying, well, if you can just take out the crying part, I'll still whack it in the window every day, which was pretty dope. What do we know now that we didn't know going in?
Well, and that's the thing. It's not that we as viewers, the only thing that we as viewers got was Michael's backstory. And it's a backstory that I wasn't expecting. I was pleasantly surprised at the development of his backstory myself. Now, we have to think about the characters and what they don't know at this point, because we're in the past, okay? We're in a flashback. And all they know is there is something off about Michael that they don't want their next Supreme, you know, possessing or being in power if he is evil. So really what it did for the plot was move it forward for what we're having these flashbacks for, okay? And that might be, a lot of people don't like the flashbacks. I've read that a lot of them are like, let's get back into the present day and let's get back down to
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what they call those people? Idiots. Shut up.
Well,
just because you know what? Those are the same people that fucking go to, like, I don't know, a Rolling Stones show and get mad that they play the hits. Oh, play your new stuff. No, fuck. Just play the hits and get off the stage. Like, that's what you want in a show that's specifically going to revisit stuff in the back, you know, after that. But you pointing out the fact that the Warlocks wanted their guy and now they're not going to get him. I actually think just because of the way last season went with the whole cult thing, I think that the Warlock guys are going to be like, yeah, no, fine. He's the Antichrist. Big deal. He's still going to be the Supreme.
Oh, they
right.
Totally
they're gonna be like total douches.
Well, that's the thing, that all of them are on a power play right now. They don't care what it takes or who it takes to fill the alpha role. They want that position. They want witches out of it. They want female Supremes done. They want a male alpha, and they want to be back in the spotlight. And, thinking back on the episode where Michael came into Hawthorne's and they were telling him everything that had transpired.
Right.
I think that the whole race to get the alpha and the race to take over power has a lot to do with this one thing that the Grand Chancellor said to him, which was, we, the Warlocks, were exiled by society, where the Supremes were accepted when Cordelia went public with Robichaux's and the exceptional women, exceptional young ladies, and that it's okay to be who you are, etc. Well, what happened to the Warlocks is the people in their town took it as, no, that you have to be eliminated, and they burned their school, and all that was left was their basement that they had to retreat to.
What?
And
I didn't hear that part. I thought that was their whole thing. They just made that swirly basement, and that's where they decided to
no,
live.
sir. I'm gonna need you to start paying attention. You know what?
No, this is why I have you.
I don't know how
You
many
correct me.
watches you do, sir, in between the air date and when we come on here.
How many watches do I have on my arm?
Okay. But that was a very significant thing that they said, because he said, once Cordelia decided to take our powers and our whole society public, they were praised, and they had lines out the window and, interviews and accepted by society. But the Warlocks were treated very badly. Their home was burned and they were banished to the basement. So for them, it is a total power play. It is, and I think it's to some degree, especially with Ariel, the Grand Chancellor, it is a revenge against Cordelia for going public with what they are.
The Warlocks are taking their country back. Dun, dun, dun. Social commentary. Now,
They're taking their power back, right?
Yep.
So
now we're going to catch up to the chat, though, because they're way ahead of us now.
Let's hit.
They're already talking about they're so far ahead, they're talking about the next season, and we're not even done with this season yet. They're
okay. So if you want to
the
hit
ghost,
You
the
wanna
ghost is afraid.
the ghost is afraid.
He's afraid that Evan Peters might not show back up this entire season.
Oh, you don't think Gallant's coming back? I do.
He died.
No, yeah. So what? Michael has resurgence.
All right. So then
When
let's
we-
see. Oh, Danielle said that Mel's would be Nadine in the stand sucking up the flag. You like the bad boys. And
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, that's true. So then Jackie was like, yeah, but I would be too. So yeah, that's fair. It's Flag, not the miniseries Flag, because he was just fucking doofy looking. But I think like book Flag would be a good looking guy.
Only
And
Flag.
so Ghost want to know how many years back do we think the flashback was?
3 years.
How do you know? Did they say it?
Okay, so the whole thing, it went back to 3 years before Bomb. And that is where we got Michael with Miriam, Michael doing the bad things that he did that got him into Hawthorne's, Michael getting the Seven Wonders test. All of this is, I mean, maybe some time has transpired and it's like maybe 2 years and something now.
Right.
But all of this started back 3 years before Bomb.
Okay.
So that's why I say they have 4 episodes left in this season. Okay.
Oh, this is going to be your arch theory, right? Well,
This
don't
is
do it yet. You got to do it at the end. You got to save it for the end because I got to catch up with the chat. There's other stuff you got to answer.
sorry. But you
Sorry,
already
Miss-
said You already said they were pulling out for next season and what was going to go on.
No, but they're asking questions about it. They're just, if we get too far behind, then we'll never catch up and we'll just be doomed. We'll be like ghosts. We'll be like ghosts. All right. Question. Yes. Do we think Cheyenne Jackson is going to come back from being barbecued, or is he just done for this
100%. He can't be done because he is a main. If you look at the credits, he is credited as a main actor of the season. He's not a guest starring like Taissa is. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, which makes me believe that Zoe's time is limited as well. Because we got Violet. We're not going to get Violet anymore. And there are a couple others that are slated as guest stars, but Cheyenne Jackson has a main. He's in the main credits along with Evan Peters.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, he's been in more than half of the thing, so yeah.
Well, but not really, because we haven't seen him since.
No, not Cheyenne Jackson. I mean Evan Peters. He's been in every episode. He's just been a different character in every one.
Oh, well, he was That's right. He did get his Murder House. That was one. That was one episode.
He was Murder House, and then he was in the Cortez. He was what's his name?
I meant Cortez. That's who I meant.
And Ghost thinks that the Warlocks arc is that they either become or are in cahoots with. Like, because remember, there was a cooperative. Michael was emailing somebody. Like, he didn't just write an email to himself, did he?
No. Right. I think the cooperative consists of, and this was supposed to be my homework for myself that I gave myself, was to figure out what his name in Jurassic Park was. But I think it was Dr. Wu. I think the cooperative is Dr. Wu, and I think the cooperative is Ariel, the Grand Chancellor.
All right.
Because the only other two were John Henry, which he was sliced and diced and set on fire by Miriam, and then Behold. And I think that they are going to figure out what Behold did, and I don't think that he is going to meet a very good fate. All right. Those are just my thoughts. And there may be others that are in the cooperative.
So now, while I'm reading this other question, Damn Fine TV, yes, you can ask a question about American Horror Story in general. But now, specifically, can Michael be the Alpha while also being the Antichrist, or is he just a powerful being as is? Would that mean there could be another Alpha who could potentially fight Michael? And then Jackie said, I think we're going to see a Michael and Mallory fight for Supreme, which seems to be, that's a logical... You know, I don't know what the fuck Coco's got to do with anything. And next episode is apparently about Dinah, but I think that it's going to end up being Mallory against.
I agree, and I'm going to put my tin foil back on.
Yep.
I do not think that Mallory is just a witch. Mallory is a supreme being, but not in the supreme that we're thinking of. I think that Mallory has some type of, and I don't want to say that she's an angel because that would be a little cliche. However, I think that her powers as a witch are powers that rival Michael being the Antichrist, because, and this is just me going back to the prior episode where she reversed the age of that deer. So
got it.
Right? So I feel like she's got something more inside of her than just a very talented witch. And I don't know if the Supreme rules allow for there to be something other than just which you're 7 wonders and then you're a Supreme. I don't know all the rules to it, but I think that
It's almost like Michael and Mallory are different sides of the same coin, says
yes.
Jackie. All right. Okay.
Yes. Michael is the bad and Mallory is the good. But
Okay.
it goes, for me, it goes far beyond Alpha and Supreme. It goes into something in some ways biblical, I suppose, if they're going to take that turn. But I believe it's something to do with that. Maybe she's a fallen angel. I don't know. So
We'll find out.
But there's a reason, and we've yet to find out what it is. But I do believe that Cordelia and Myrtle know what that reason is, that they put the enchantment on her. And for God's sake, I hope they didn't bring Coco back just to be a gluten detector.
No, I don't know what the fuck Coco's deal is, and her weird fucking chin.
It kind of makes me mad because I just don't want her to have any kind of redeeming quality.
I want to figure out why she looks completely different depending on what angle you're looking at her from, and what the fuck is up with her chin. Does she have a chin, or does she not have a chin? Do her teeth just go right into her neck? It's very off-putting. So now,
well, I'm so sorry, Leslie Grossman. You have a very weird face.
I loved her last year. She was like one of my favorite things of last year's shitty season. But now,
but she was one of the good. Like, she was actually one of the characters that I liked from last season.
I have something amaze balls for you, Mel's.
Been holding out. Okay.
We're gonna overarching tie it all together theory, but I'm only gonna give you like 45 seconds to say it.
I can do it. I was on the debate team.
But then we got a crazy cool question from Damn Fine TV that I'm going to lay on you after you do your theory, because I don't want you to be thinking about the question while you're talking about your theory. So go ahead.
Tim Full Time. That's my new segment, is Tim Full Time. So Tim, next week I'm going to make me a Tim Full hat and I'm going to put it on. So anyway, my gut is telling me, and it's oftentimes wrong, so don't quote me at this, but I have a feeling we are 4 episodes out from the end of this season. And It is a short season compared to the other seasons of American Horror Story. I believe it's going to be a 2-parter season. And I believe that next season is going to be the last.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to stop at 8?
Yeah. No.
But
going to stop at 9.
9. Okay. Is this 8?
This is 8.
No shit. So then, no, I do agree with you. You know why? Because remember a couple years ago when they were talking about yes, I know it's more than gluten sniffing. She senses danger, but it's the fucking apocalypse. So why isn't she just running around nonstop going danger? Because everything is terrible. So now the thing I was going to say about the 9 seasons is, remember when supposedly Murphy or Falchuk or one of them said
Dante's Inferno?
Yeah, the 9 circles of hell.
Yes,
now, I don't know what the fuck they all match up to. And I thought that when they gave the list of what they supposedly matched up to, that it felt kind of weak to me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't believe you can't, in my view, you can't say, oh, I had a master plan for this all along. Oh, wait. Well, we just got bit in the ass with that, because apparently it just got renewed for seasons 9 and 10.
What?
Yep, that's we'll edit that part out when we redo it.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Melissa is done. Mel's is done.
No.
I'm gonna have to burn my tinfoil hat in a microwave and see what happens. So.
Nope. I mean, good for them for getting renewed. But now,
yeah, that's keeping me in a job.
So here's the question that Dan Fine TV was all excited to pretend that it wasn't about her, but it totally was. She wants to know for her friend
Okay.
what we think the order of seasons by scariness is. Not by how good it was or anything like that.
Okay.
But straight up scary. Because remember, there's two things about the fucking show name that we just gloss over. Number one, American. So yes, they all take place in America, but you could make a case for the only episode to me that was uniquely American was Roanoke.
You mean season, not episode. Sorry.
Yeah. The only season that I felt that was really American.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? So
It's all the story of Roanoke.
Well, right, but also the fact that it was reality TV and how we're devouring ourselves. I mean, you could also say yes, Cult was, is very American but that was basically it's talking about what's happening. You know what I mean? So it's so the American thing, I don't know. I'd have to examine it a little more. And the only person I know that's done any actual like study, and you gotta look her up on Facebook. She is one of the women in horror trading cards. She, if you look up Horror Scholar on Facebook, she actually wrote a paper and got it published on specifically instances of violence against women.
Ooh.
In the series American Horror Story, and apparently the number of incidences and the severity of the incidences is off the fucking chain. So anyway,
all right, I looked her up.
Here it is.
Okay.
Here's our little scorecard.
You need to move it over a little because I can't see it.
It's just the episode names with boxes next to them to say which one's the most scary.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, in my order, that the scariest one, the one that was actually legitimately scary, Murder House was the first one. And there were parts in that were legitimately scary, like a little creepy baby running around and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like there was some legit scary things.
Yeah, those were jump scares to me, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, none of the episodes really got across, to me anyway, a coherent creeping dread because they're so all over the fucking place.
That's what I'm saying. Like they did a lot of boo scare.
Yeah. So now my second is, believe it or not, Roanoke, because I thought there was some legitimately freaky, fucked up things that happened in that one. And that one, since it was so close knit, it was more cohesive than usual.
Yeah.
Oh, and no one wants you to die. They all want you to stay. So don't worry about that.
I wasn't going to die. I was just going to put my tinfoil hat in there, not with my head in it.
Oh, gotcha. I think that the least scary one was Freak Show, because honestly, I don't even fucking remember it.
Okay.
Coven wasn't very scary. Asylum was. Yeah, so this is how it goes. My order is Murder House was the scariest, followed by Roanoke, followed by Asylum, then Hotel, then Cult, then Apocalypse, then Coven, then Freak Show.
Okay. All right. So we're going to rate this season even though it's not over?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can put an asterisk next to it.
Okay.
And Ghost rightly points out it also depends on what scares you. Is it religious demon stuff?
Well, exactly.
That gets her the most. So Asylum is the scary one for her.
I was about to
people
say
that don't like body horror, that kind of thing.
So, and that's true because each season represents a very different type of scare. I want to use Cult as an example. Like-minded. What is it? Groupthink. That can be very scary to people because that's how you end up with cults, and that's how you end up with really crazy shit that happens, right?
You're right.
We've seen that throughout history. Let's see. For me,
I mean, if you want to put more thought into it,
no.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say I can rattle it to you right now.
But I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to make it. We're going to make it on the site. And I'll record everybody's votes. We'll just do it as like a poll. So people say, okay, well, vote for, what your scariest one is and that kind of thing. Yeah. Because I think it's that'll sort of give us the order as it goes. You know what I mean? Because if everybody votes for their number one, the other ones will kind of trail out below. So we'll try and figure that out. Okay. But you give me yours.
Okay.
Start from one, the scariest, or do you want to start from the least scariest?
I'll do opposite of you, and I'll do least scariest up.
All right. What's number 8?
Freak Show.
All right.
Let's see. Number 7 is Coven.
Yeah.
Number 6 is I really hate to say this. Well, no, I don't. Murder House.
Wow. All right.
Murder House was my favorite. Was one of my favorite seasons, but it was for different reasons. It was terrifying because it was the first thing on TV that we'd seen like that. But since there's been subsequent seasons, I've been scared.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. That's fair.
Okay, what number am I at? I'm sorry.
Now you're gonna do 5.
5 is.
I remember Apocalypse counts, so you're gonna have to jam that in there somewhere.
Okay, I'm aware.
All right, I'm just telling you.
5 is going to have to be Apocalypse.
All right.
4 is going to have to be Hotel.
All right.
3 is going to have to be Cult.
All right.
2 is Asylum.
Wow. So that means 1 is Roanoke. So
I'm going to tell you why Roanoke is my number one. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm fixing to give you all the juiciest, the hottest tea that you're going to get from me. Okay.
Wow.
I am embarrassed to admit this. Was scared to finish Roanoke.
Wow.
There were some factors going on. Like I was, I was postpartum, so it could have been a lot to do with hormones. But Roanoke scared me. Roanoke frightened me. It was the content. It was the story of the beginnings of everything. Some of the stuff in it, I have to say, was corny, but all of the episodes, all of the seasons had that. But Roanoke, once I actually rewatched it and finished it, was the scariest by far to me. I'm actually in the middle of rewatching it again, but I'm doing it during the daylight. Sorry, guys. But yeah, and I know it's surprising for me to tell you that Murder House is one of my favorites. Coven is one of my favorites. But see, they're my favorites because I liked their stories. Like story and the cinematography and everything like that. That's why they're some of my favorite seasons, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But Cult scares me, and it's for the reasons that I told you, is groupthink and the fact that when cultish behavior begins and people buy into that, things like gratuitous murders and political rise and
those clowns.
I mean, like things like that happen. I'm not scared of clowns, but I'm just saying,
You'd
like,
be scared. I would be more scared of a dick-nosed clown jumping out of the closet at me than. Well, speaking of clowns, Ghost said everyone's saying Freak Show isn't scary, but I think y'all are forgetting the clown.
Twisty.
Yeah.
Twisty, okay, Twisty was okay. Let me give you the 411.
And Dandy. Oh, I love Dandy, even though I hate.
I love Dandy. He was just messed up, like, I'll get out. But I'm gonna tell you why Twisty ended up not doing it for me. I was scared in the beginning, like it was frightening to me because I was like, "Oh, this is, gross." It was grotesque what he was doing. But then they humanized him. And that's where they lost me on Twisty. Okay? When they gave him that poor story of him being just this odd guy on the circus scene or freak show scene that was bullied. And then he tried to take his own life. And then was visited by the whatever, and he opened his path to becoming this twisted clown. When they humanize it for me, that loses it for me a bit, if that makes sense. The scary part of it leaves for me because I would rather just be knowing him as this just crazy ass dude that it wants to kill people. That's scary to me. Right? Like in Cult, when Mare Winningham, I can't remember her character's name, but she was the one that stood up and was going to run against Kai. When they came to her house and terrorized her and shot her point blank and killed her, that was frightening to me. Because
that's probably going to happen later tonight.
Stop. What I'm saying is that type of thing, because, and I don't want to get all like, because I'm super into history and I'm super into like all the backstories behind what happened in America. But when you look at Charles Manson and what he accomplished without ever dirtying his own hands, I mean, Sharon Tate and everything that happened there.
Accomplished is kind of not the right verb, I suppose.
Well, accomplished for his cause. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, he got, by the way,
he accomplished like world peace. No, I'm saying what he was setting out to do, he accomplished. And he did it without ever sullying his own hands. And that shit is scarier to me than boo scares and jump scares and things like that. Because personalities like that can persuade people to do very naughty things is a real life situation that is frightening to me.
I don't think you should be so afraid of cults, because I would be a super benevolent cult leader, and we just need to get that going a little more.
Okay.
Because I would be really good at it. Because remember, everybody, and I said this to Hannah, I think, if it's a Ponzi scheme, but you're the first people in it, then you get your money. It's the suckers later on that don't. So if you want to be in the cult, it's the time to get in is now, because the people at the beginning are the ones that get all the power. So just remember that. And I'm saying that because I didn't win Mega Millions. I just looked it up. So I can't just fucking go, well, show's over, losers, yoink, and just disappear.
I haven't heard any screams in my home, which means I haven't won them either. So.
And I have a pretty dope anecdote for you before we abracadabra this show right the fuck off the internet.
I know we've gone way over, but this has been very interesting.
It's all right. No, it's fine.
Though. This has been interesting discussion, though. I mean, like, I'm really liking the chat interaction and what they're throwing at us because it's a conversation. So
I also like it when they just start talking to each other and forget that we're here, because then I can, it's fine.
Because then you just miss things that I might say that are like, oh, remember when she said that and she was totally
So since Mina Savari was in this episode, I will tell you my Mina Savari story.
Okay.
I was at a con in New Jersey last year. I think it was Chiller Theater, because that's the most random con in the fucking history of the world. Like, Chiller Theater is next weekend, and one of the sets of guests are the people from the show Good Times. Like, what? And the Love Boat, like, it's just fucking random. Then there's wrestlers. Like, the first year I went there, it was Jen Martinelli and I. We went, and who was there? Let's see. It was a bunch of people from American Pie, rando, some people from Fright Night, wrestlers, friendly porn stars, really mean porn stars. It was all over the map. It made no sense whatsoever.
There's a porn star spectrum.
Yes, it was. Oh yeah, one was really nice and one was super high. Like, and she was kind of mean. She was also wearing a Viking hat, so that was fun. Anyway,
okay.
The Mina Savari story was, it was another one where they had a bunch of people from American Pie. They had like Shannon Elizabeth and like all the basically not Jason Biggs and Stifler, but kind of everybody else that was in it was there. Mina Savari was there. Was he there? I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, Mina Savari was there anyway, right? Yeah. At one point, I was there with a guy that used to write, and we found a really sweet place for lunch. And Mina Savari and her handler came over and said, "Can we sit on the other side of the table from you?" And we were like, "Yeah."
Okay.
So they were just doing their shit, eating their lunch. You know what I mean? But it was kind of fun that we had the control. We could have went, "No, fuck you, Mina Savari." And if it had happened in a different order, then I probably would have done that, because later in the show, I got yelled at by Flava Flav, who accused me of going really slow by his area to get like free looks at him.
Oh.
And literally the reason why I could not go was because Mina Savari had big, tall, fucking high heels on. She was in front of me, and she's fucking wobbling back and forth like a baby deer. I'm like, fucking move. I'm going to get beat up by Flava Flav's men. Mina Savari, move with your big ass forehead. So that's my Mina Savari story. She got me in trouble with Flava Flav, and I was innocent.
She almost cost you your life.
Yep, I was innocent. Completely innocent. And as a matter of fact, who would have been a witness? This is why cons are fun, people. I got yelled at by Flava Flav because of Mina Savari, and the witness that could have absolved me had it gone to con court was George Hamilton.
Oh,
who was right across on the other side, looking all suave, signing. He saw the whole thing.
I love it. I'm kind of wishing you hadn't told me that the Love Boat crew is going to be there, because now I'm like, I think I need to get there, because that's one of my favorite shows, man.
All right. Well, so since it's kind of the end of the show anyway.
Yes.
Anybody that is, because I think I'm going to be in Orlando at Spooky Empire, because at Spooky Empire next weekend, it's going to be both David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson from the X-Files.
So jealous.
And both of the Saska sisters, and there's kind of a good crew down there. And our own Kenny.
Yay, Kenny!
Yeah, that's right. So let me give you a little taste of, if you live anywhere near northern New Jersey and you got nothing to do next weekend, well, maybe you could go see Robert Wagner, who's 100, Stephanie Powers, who's 100, Hot Lips from MASH, Loretta Swit.
Whoa!
The I Dream of Jeannie lady, Barbara Eden.
Oh, I love it!
The captain and his daughter and the doctor and the bartender from Love Boat.
Nice.
Vinnie Vincent.
Okay.
Seriously,
I love it.
Vinnie Vincent, followed by, and the order that they put him in don't make any sense either, because they put the Love Boat people above Vinnie Vincent and above Carmen Electra.
Oh, okay.
And
I can
then
understand that.
Kelly Hu from Battlestar Galactica. No, Scorpion King. She was in Scorpion King. Tootie from The Facts of Life.
Kim Fields.
Yep. A bunch of old wrestlers. And then John Boy from the Waltons. And in a Bet You Never Thought You Wanted to Go See little Alex Kintner from Jaws, the kid that gets eaten. He's now a grown-ass man, and he'll sign a thing for you.
Nice. See, cons are wonderful.
Cons are amazing because also, and under that, this is why it doesn't make any sense. The kid that got eaten in Jaws is billed above Ice-T and Coco.
No, you don't. Ice-T is primo.
And Bai Ling, and all the women from the original Evil Dead.
What?
And the father and JJ and Michael and Bookman and I think her name was Thelma, the sister, all from Good Times. They're all there.
Hey,
The only one that's not there is the mother who's dead.
this is a party.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people from LA Law, including Corbin Burnson, who was also in Major League, which is one of my favorite movies of all. I might not go to Florida now. I might just go to this because it's fucking ridiculous. This is my favorite convention because it's really like they took all the drugs that they could fit inside themselves and then said, who can we invite? And you would be very psyched.
This is a motley crew, and I like every person involved.
Well, you're going to love this one. And I have met her before, and she is super, super nice. PJ Souls from the original Halloween.
Okay. Speaking of, guys, in theaters today, Halloween.
Yep. It's pretty tough that you had to do this instead of go see that.
Yeah, thanks
That's
a
a sad
lot.
state of affairs,
No. Well, there are two things. I'm sorry, Katia, if you're done with your con.
No, I'm just still.
Yeah.
I'm not even done scrolling. It's like it's still going.
Well,
Ooh,
I want to bring attention to something.
Yeah.
Some of you may not notice these things, or unless one of us points it out. But the sign behind Acadia today is "Tell me where Acadia is." And
That's right. She's asking the skull.
Well, the skull. Now, I just want you all to know, Acadia, I have a gift for you. Okay. What? It's the bag of skulls. And it could. Yours is in here somewhere. Okay.
Mine's much larger than that because of my enormous brain, but yes.
No, I think yours is one of these super tiny ones that are at the top. But I wanted you all to see that I got my bag of bones for when they return to Murder
House. That is very true. That's a good callback right there. That's outstanding. Here, I thought you were going to get me like a Emma Roberts poster and everything like that, but really all you did was just make fun of me. So at least that's fine. That's very very on brand.
You're over your Emma Roberts limit for the night. So
it's just sad. No, they're not paying me for this commercial. I'm just saying that it's fucking bananas that all these people are coming to this thing. Like, there's not enough money. Like, how much money could the kid from the movie The Toy, who was also the kid that got his tongue stuck to the pole in A Christmas Story, how much money is he going to make?
A lot, because hello, it's A Christmas Story.
I suppose.
Katia, we got to get you, man. Like, people want that stuff, okay?
Yeah, I know. But you know what? I can't go to this show because Andrew Anderson, the wrestler, is there, and he is apparently my enemy. He's a real wrestler, and we were at the bar drinking, and the drunker he got, the madder he got at me, and I don't know why. Maybe it was because people were talking to me and they weren't talking to him because he was a big scary monster and I'm super charming. But anyway, then he just came out of nowhere and decided to unmask me because that's like a real thing with wrestlers, except that the fucker wouldn't untie it. So he was really just actually pulling off my head and there was nothing I could do about it.
Well, speaking of, that's how we ended up with your skull in here.
You know what? All right. Listen.
Okay.
Everybody, we went over because
Yeah.
but now I can make money because Jackie just said she'll give me $100 for pictures of David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson.
Okay, Jax. All right now.
Yeah. Wait a minute. And then Ghost said, can we revisit Mel's theory that I stifled before signing off? Well, I thought your theory was that there were only going to be 9 seasons and then you retired in shame.
You just let the ghosts talk, okay?
That was the question. I was just answering the question.
Oh.
She said, can we revisit Mel's theory?
Well, yes, you killed my theory, but I still love you, so don't worry about it. I'll just come up with another theory.
Well, no, I actually think that the one you said that you think Apocalypse is going to be like a 2-parter. Like that, remember you were talking about that you thought that they wouldn't wrap up Apocalypse this.
It has to be, because how are they going to do anything in 4 more episodes?
I don't know.
Hey.
Well, I don't know. We said the same thing about Castle Rock, and it turned out we're just not. We're gonna fuck it, and not answer all the questions,
Well,
and it's just, So
I was about to say, please don't use that as an example, because that did not tie up a damn thing. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about pushing the time over the damn Fine TV because
yeah. Hey,
I
you know
don't think
what?
we're paying by the minute.
If y'all want to listen to us, I don't have anywhere to be.
Yes, we have to work. We are very busy.
That's true. The boss is got the chains on me today. So yeah.
Cracker.
Well, this.
Oh yeah, no wait. Ghost just said hopefully it's 90-minute episodes for the rest of the season.
Ooh.
That could be a. The fact that there's no fucking rules to anything anymore does actually help.
Well, I want to tell you, Ghost, you might be onto something, because this episode on Wednesday was over an hour. Yeah. But it wasn't an hour and a half. It was an hour and 19 minutes. So, well, I personally want to thank everyone that showed up. I want to thank you all that stuck around with us, because y'all really are what drive us to do. We love this. I mean, if it was just Katie and I talking, it would still happen because this is our passion. But the fact that y'all show up and y'all support us and y'all give us these bomb questions and theories and things for us to think about is amazing. And so without your support, again, it would just be the 2 of us talking about it. But yeah. So really and truly, we thank y'all so much. You know how to hit us up. We are on Twitter. I'm at MelsBells84.
I'm just at Acadia.
Yeah. Hit us up at Superficial Gallery. You can email us.
Just do superficialgallery@gmail.com. As a matter of fact, email me your list so that I can start making the chart of which seasons were the most scary.
Yeah, for sure. And we look forward to y'all coming back next week. I'm excited about next week's episode. It is titled Traitor, which lent me to me thinking that Behold's days may be numbered. I could be wrong. But we've got some interesting previews for next week. We know that Marie Laveau did not make it through Coven, which is why she is not back for Apocalypse. So I'm assuming that Dinah, which some people pronounce it Diane.
I really thought it was Dinah, but maybe I just heard somebody say that. I don't know.
No, when I look her name up, that it says it's got an H on the end. So anyways, Dinah, Diane, Fopra. We like Fopra. Fopra is going to be our new voodoo queen. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the interaction with the Coven, because now we understand why she was hesitant when they brought her back. at Outpost number 3. And she said, whoa, I still don't want to have anything to do with y'all. I'm here to observe. And we did get a shot in the previews for next week with Joan Collins in it. So I'm very excited to see how she's brought back, which kind of makes me wonder if we're going to get some present day stuff and if anybody else in Outpost number 3 is going to be brought back. Tim, Timothy, and Emily.
Whatever.
Perhaps.
Whatever.
But again, thank you so much for joining us. Just, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit your notification button because we're going to be coming out with some cool stuff on the channel as well.
Yep.
And don't forget to hit up Superficial Gallery for all your recaps.
Mm-hmm.
And all of your latest news in horror and anything, that's happening in, AHS world and Castle Rock world and anything else to do with that. So...
Well, thank you, everyone in the chat. Also, I want you to all go away for this week with this thought that came from Damiao. It seems pretty clean cut. We know the world doesn't really end because life goes on in 2022. So it's going to be a battle of good and evil and some kind of magical undoing of what happened. So she's claiming that they're going to Doctor Strange it and just disintegrate everybody.
And Damiao, you're right, because you know who's going to do that? Mallory.
I don't know.
I will leave y'all with this one thought. The one thing that pissed me off from the episode is, where in the hell did little No Eyes Susie come from?
No, her name is No Eyes Janet. I wrote it down.
Okay. Where the hell did No Eyes Janet come from? Why wasn't she in the murder house? Which I've read some things about the cutting floor, what ended up on the cutting floor in murder house. But why did we get her in
They're going to do something with her.
She's got some significance because she doesn't have eyes. That's my leaving thought with everyone. So.
Yep. Well, and Cemetery Doll's leaving thought is, what if Misty is the traitor because Michael can control her like a puppet since he brought her back from hell?
Well, and Queenie.
And my Madison. Oh, you've ruined my week. Dun, dun, dun.
Cemetery Doll, you're my new favorite person. All right.
And later tonight, if I get my work done, you can just watch me play Dead by Daylight while other people make fun of me. So there you go.
Right. Everyone.
And you know what ends up on the cutting room floor of American Horror Stream? Fucking nothing, because it's always 74 hours long. So that's it, everybody. We love you the most. No Eyes Janet is shutting her eyes. And just like what's her name said, we're going to abracadabra this bitch right out of our afterlife.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. And have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.